Hi, yogis. Today, I'm excited to be wearing the new Vex Yoga tank top, Namaste at Home. So featuring the new tank top. Thank you so much, Amy and Amy's husband and Connie for providing these. I'm going to be offering you a Vinyasa Flow Yoga. We will be opening up through our hips today. Letting go of whatever we're holding on to. We hold so many emotions in our hips, and especially during this very trying time of this pandemic, this collective trauma we're going through. So as we open up through our hips, we can release our old stories and then hopefully making space for something new and better, our new stories. So we will start on our backs, grounding down, settling in our Supta Baddha Konasana, our reclined butterfly. So soles of the feet together, knees out wide, and let's just lift those hips up, lengthen tailbone to the front of the room. Take that curve out of that low back and then set those hips back down. And it's optional if you need to prop blocks under the thighs or the knees to get comfortable here as we settle into our mats. It's grounding down. Just thanking ourselves for the hardest part of our practice, which is showing up to our mats. So good job, yogis, making it for the hardest part of your practice. As we take a deep inhale, breath in through the nose. And exhale it out the mouth. Taking another full expansive breath in through the nose. Expanding through that belly, chest, ribs. And as we exhale out, letting that belly button drop further towards the spine, starting to open up through our hips here. Just picturing our breath as a tiny white light traveling up the length of the spine on the inhale, drawing it all the way up to the crown of our head. And that same tiny white light traveling down the length of the spine on the exhale, letting it travel out through the tips of our toes, just letting those knees drop further towards the earth. Turning our attention inward as we check in, taking that inventory, paying particular attention to those areas that might feel tight or stuck today. Just sending our breath, our love to those tight, stuck areas. It's taking about 4 more deep breaths here before we begin to move into our asana practice. As we turn our attention inward, setting your own intention for your practice today. Always being mindful that we come to our mats with self-compassion, self-acceptance, and self-love. And bottom of that last exhale breath. Excuse me, my allergies are not so good today. Gently placing hands on outsides of thighs. We close those legs together like we close a book. And then gently stretching legs long to the front of the room, reaching those arms overhead. Big inhale here as we stretch through toes and fingertips. And on the exhale, hugging that right knee in, gently pulling that, wrapping hands around right shin as we gently pull that right knee up towards right armpit here. And then releasing that right leg long to the front of the room, stretching arms overhead. Big inhale here as we reach through toes and fingertips, and on the exhale, wrapping hands around left shin, opening up that left hip as we draw that left knee up and out towards that left armpit. And then let's go ahead and release both feet, both legs straight to the sky, pressing that low back into the earth, pointing and flexing both feet here, rolling both ankles around. And legs apart. Excuse me, for a wide-legged forward fold on our backs, breathing space through inner groins. Maybe you feel it through the outer hips. And then closing those legs together, crossing right leg over left, crossing at the knees, bending, reaching for outer shins, or maybe you can reach all the way to the ankles as we pull those legs towards the back wall here, making space all through that right outer hip and our Gomukhasana legs. It's nice deep inhale and exhale. Let's take one more breath here. Maybe getting those feet a little bit further to the back wall with this next exhale. And straightening, releasing both legs to the sky, taking our cow face legs on the other side. So we're going to cross left over right, crossing at the knees, reaching for those outer shins or ankles as we gently pull those feet, those legs towards the back wall. It's breathing space here all through that left outer hip. Just letting something soften with the exhale. And then releasing to our Apanasana, hugging both knees tight to our chest, wrapping arms around both shins, rocking side to side, massaging that low back into the earth. And then rocking forwards and backwards along that spine. And rocking up, rolling over. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves into all fours in our tabletop. We're going to go ahead and work into our cat-cows here. So on our hands and knees, inhaling into our cow pose, chin up, collarbones wide, crown of the head up, tailbone to the sky, tops of the feet pressed into the earth. And as we exhale into our cat, dropping our head, chin to chest, doming our back. You can take cat-cow at your own pace here. Really widening through collarbones in the cow, pulling those shoulder heads away from ears, and then tucking our chin, separating through those back shoulder blades in the cat as we push the floor away. Flexion and extension of our spine. So good here as we prepare for our downward facing dog and our standing poses. And then finishing up with that last cat-cow. Bringing that spine back to neutral, head, neck, spine in one line, those abs engaged. Gaze top of the mat, tucking toes under, bringing hips to sky for our downward facing dog. You can keep your knees bent a lot here as we push the floor away. You can slowly start to pedal those feet out. Just releasing any tension you're holding on to. Tailbone to the sky here. We can slowly bring that right heel down and then left. No tension in head, neck, or shoulders here. Let's come up on both toes, taking a deep bend in both knees, laying our belly on our thighs, pushing the floor away. Tailbone to the sky, big inhale here, and as we exhale, straightening those legs, bringing heels closer to the earth. Let's bring it forward to a plank pose. Now, you can take traditional plank, really pushing those heels to the back wall. You're welcome to drop to your knees. Exhaling back to our downward facing dog. This big inhale and exhale here. And one more time forward into plank pose. And keeping those elbows hugged in tight. Let's slowly bend. Let's release all the way down on our mats for some low cobras to warm up the low back a little bit. So head down, face down. Hands next to ribs, legs together here. Exhaling out on the inhale. Stretching crown of the head forward here. Shoulder heads away from ears. Our first low cobra. Exhaling, face back down to the mat. Let's do one more of those. Inhaling, crown of the head up to low cobra. If you want to take it into full cobra, you're welcome to place hands on the outsides of the mat. Straightening those arms, taking a bigger low back stretch here. And then releasing back, face down on the mat, tucking toes under, bringing it back to a plank pose, strong core here, abs engaged. And then taking it back to downward facing dog. Slowly walking, feet up to meet hands. We're going to bring it into our Uttanasana, our forward fold. So bending over at the hips. Ragdoll pose here. We're going to shift our weight from foot to foot, side to side, swing back and forth. You can hook arms at elbows. You can have hands down to the mat or blocks. You should be able to shake your head yes and no in ragdoll pose. Shifting our weight from foot to foot, swing side to side. And then coming to stillness in the center, slowly rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae until we find ourselves coming to standing at the top with that head and neck coming up last, finding our way to our mountain pose. Hi, yogis. Okay, checking in with our feet, making sure we're standing in all four corners of our feet, those inner arches lifted up, long and tall in our spine, abs engaged, shoulder heads rolled away from ears. Inhaling, reaching up, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, we fold all the way over into our forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And then planting both hands top of the mat, we step or hop back to plank pose. Strong through the Chaturanga, Dandasana, inhaling into either low cobra or upward facing dog. And then we exhale back to downward facing dog. That's your vinyasa flow. You're welcome to skip the Chaturangas and just take it straight back to downward facing dog. Big inhale and exhale here. Coming up on both toes, a deep bend in both knees. Walk, step, or hop both feet to the top of the mat in between hands. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, we fold over. Inhaling, rooting down to rise up. Fingertips to the sky for our sun salute. Exhaling, hands to heart center prayer. Let's do one more Surya Namaskara A. Inhaling up. Exhaling, we fold over. Inhaling, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, planting both hands, top of the mat, stepping or hopping back to your plank. Elbows hugged in tight, strong core. Through the chaturanga, upward facing dog. Exhaling, back to downward facing dog. Big inhale and exhale here. Inhaling, that right leg back and up towards the back wall. Flexing that right back foot. And then slowly stepping our right front foot through in between our hands. Setting that back left heel down, that back left foot at a 45-degree angle. So we bring it up into our warrior one. Arms up. That left hip, both hips square to the front of the room. Slowly opening to warrior two. Staying low in that front leg. Tugging that pelvis under. Gaze over that front middle finger in warrior two. Then doing our little pulse here, inhaling up. Exhaling back to warrior two. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more. Inhaling up. Exhaling. We stay here. We flip front palm to the sky. We reach forward. Then reach back, reversing our warrior, opening up through this right side. Stretching. Holding. Breathing. And then we're going to straighten that right front leg. We're going to hinge at the hips, reaching out, taking it to our triangle pose. Right hand down to right shin, right ankle or a block. Left arm to the sky here. In our Trikonasana. And then that right hand down inside that right front foot. You can have that hand on a block if you need to, bending. Left arm reaches long overhead here. In our extended side angle pose. That back edge of that back left foot planted on the ground here. And then left hand down next to right hand, spinning up on back toes as we bring it into our revolved side angle pose. Our arms in one long line of energy here. And then right hand down inside of that right front foot, releasing that back knee down, bringing it into our low lizard lunge, deep inner groin stretch. On this right side, scooting outer edge of that right foot to the outer edge of our mat. Setting up, you can have a block under these forearms, or you can bring forearms all the way down to your mat, releasing that head and neck down here. Just letting go of whatever we're holding on to in our hips today as we practice this very deep inner groin stretch. No judgment, just observation with whatever comes up. Just let it come up. And then slowly releasing up into our runner's lunge. So hands at heart center prayer. Back leg straight, heel lifted off the ground. Inhaling up, exhaling. Let's take it to a twist. So we're going to hook that left elbow across right knee here, pushing those prayer hands together. Really pushing that back heel to the back wall. In our lunge twist. And then releasing both hands down to the top of the mat as we take it through our vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Excuse me. Downward facing dog. That's my allergies. Big inhale and exhale here. Inhaling, left leg backing up towards that back wall, flexing that back left foot. Slowly stepping our left front foot through. That back right heel planted down, bringing up into our warrior one. That back right foot at a 45-degree angle. Hips square to the front of the room, really pushing that right hip forward. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Opening to warrior two. Tucking that pelvis under here. Gaze over that front middle finger in warrior two. Taking it through a little flow, inhaling up. Exhaling back to warrior two. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more. Inhaling up. Exhaling. We stay here. We flip front palm to the sky. We reach forward. Then reach back to reverse our warrior. Opening up. Stretching all down that left side. Holding. Breathing. Then straightening that left front leg, hinging at the hip, reaching, left hand down to left shin, left ankle or block, right arm up here in our triangle pose. And then that left hand down inside of left front foot, right arm reaches long overhead for our extended side angle. The outer edge of that back right foot still planted on the ground. Then spinning up on back toes, right hand down next to left hand as we bring it into our revolve side angle, left arm to the sky. And then setting that back knee down, left hand inside of left front foot, scooting outer edge of our left foot to the outer edge of our mat as we bring our forearms down on a block or the mat. Setting up here for our lizard lunge, deep inner groin stretch on this left side. That head and neck release down. Just letting go of whatever we're holding on to. No judgment, just observation. Whatever comes up, watch it pass like you'd watch the clouds pass in the sky. And then slowly releasing up to our runner's lunge, our crescent lunge. Hands, heart center prayer, that back leg straight, heel lifted off the ground, inhaling up, exhaling, twisting over to the right, hooking that right elbow across left knee as we take it through the twist. And then bringing both hands back, heart center prayer, taking it down to your plank, through your chaturanga, upward facing dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Big inhale and exhale here. Inhaling that right leg backing up towards the back wall. Then we're slowly going to step that right front foot through and bring it up for pyramid pose. Now in pyramid pose, our feet are closer together than they would be in warrior pose. Both legs straight, heels in one line. Hips squared to the front of the room. Inhaling up, exhaling over that right outstretched leg. We want a forehead to knee connection here. If you need to bend leg at the knee to get that forehead to knee connection, that's fine. Oh, working our thyroid. And then left arm back in airplane wing, right arm back in airplane wing, both arms overhead here, torso up, working our core. And we're going to bring it to pigeon pose on this right side. So left leg stretches back long, right knee to right wrist, that right shin in front. If you need to prop a blanket or a block between your hips here, go for it. Inhaling up, exhaling over into our sleeping pigeon. You can have arms stretched long in front. You can place a block under your forehead. I like to make a little pillow with my hands and place my forehead on my pillowed hands. Just breathing space here through our deepest hip opener in our sleeping pigeon here. And then releasing both hands, top of the mat, taking it back. Let's do a three-legged dog and shake that right leg out. You can take it through a vinyasa flow if you want. And then meeting back in downward facing dog. Big inhale and exhale here. Inhaling that left leg back and up towards the back wall. And then slowly stepping our left front foot through as we bring it into our pyramid pose on this side. So heels in one line, both legs straight, hips squared to the front of the room, arms up overhead, exhaling over that left outstretched leg. We want that forehead to knee connection. If you need to bend leg at the knee to get it, go ahead. Slight choking sensation is normal here as we're working our thyroid. And then right arm back in airplane wing, left arm back in airplane wing, both arms overhead, torso coming up to the top, bringing it down into our pigeon pose on this left side. Right leg stretches back long, left knee to left ankle, that left shin in front, taking a blanket or a block in between your hips here if you need to. Inhaling up, exhaling into our sleeping pigeon, taking the same variation with your arms on this side that you took on the first side. Just breathing space all through our deepest left outer hip stretch pose here. Just letting go of something with each exhale. And then bringing both hands back top of the mat, shaking that left leg out in a three-legged dog. You can take it back through one more vinyasa flow if you like. And then let's bring it down to our squat pose, our malasana. So feet apart. If you need to squat on a block, go for it. Those elbows inside of those knees, our prayer hands together here in our malasana. Breathing here for a few breaths. If you have Bakasana, crow pose in your practice, the arm balance, and you want to take that, go for it. Feel free to take your arm balance. Just a few breaths here. And then we're going to go ahead and move forward into frog pose. So frog, coming down on our forearms. Let me do it this way. This is our deepest hip opener. Just breathing space here as we push those hips back. Our feet are flexed here in frog pose. Just letting something soften with each exhale. And then getting out of frog pose, whatever way works best for you. Let's just go ahead and come on our mats, on our backs. Oh, yeah. Lifting those legs to the sky. Pointing and flexing both feet here. Rolling those ankles around. And then finally hugging both knees tight to our chest. Might feel good to rock side to side, massaging that low back into the earth one last time. And this is the time you should also take any final movements, poses, postures you need to take before setting up in our most important pose, our final resting pose of Shavasana. Might feel good to take legs up the wall after having done such deep hip openers here. And then making our way to our final Shavasana, taking whatever props you need as we let our feet and legs plop open here. Please do not skip your Shavasana. All the hard work you've just done the last 30 minutes settles in as we come to our final resting corpse pose, Shavasana. In the process of letting go, you will lose many things from the past, but you will find yourself. Breathe, let go, and remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. Slowly starting to deepen your breath, wiggling your fingers and toes, bringing life back into your limbs and your body. You can gently stretch those arms long overhead like you're just waking up from a deep sleep. And then you can gently roll over onto your favorite side and push yourself up to a comfortable seated position facing the front of the room. Our hands gather together in Anjali Mudra at Heart Center Prayer. Just being grateful for all of the many blessings that we have and sending this gratitude out to all beings everywhere. Thank you for letting me guide you today. Namaste. Thank you, my friends. Be well.